Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing great. It has been a few weeks actually since I've filmed, so it feels kind of, I don't know, weird trying to get back in the groove. Anyway, our house still is completely under construction. I am in my little guy's room right now, as you can tell. But yeah, all the flooring is gone, so it probably sounds really echoey, so sorry about that. But yeah, the rest of the house is kind of torn apart still. I'll show you a clip here. But yeah, the wall is completely down, all the flooring in all of the rooms, the living room, the kitchen, it's all torn out. And then hopefully next week we will be able to lay all the new flooring down. And then at that point, I'll at least be able to put the kiddos' rooms back together. And then my husband will be able to start installing the new cabinets. But yeah, we're still a few weeks away from having it done, but we are super excited and we're happy with the progress so far. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are here today, as I said before. And today I did want to share with you kind of the top 10 things, at least I think it's 10, but yeah, top 10 things to know before you attend your local homeschooling convention. I know not every single state may have a convention. You can look up online if you have one coming to your state, but you can travel normally within just 3 or 4 hours and get to one near you. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, give it a thumbs up and let's get into it. So the first thing that I would definitely recommend is honestly, I know it sounds so simple, but honestly dressing for comfort rather than to be fashionable. During the convention, you know, most of the shows are in cities, so just to get into the convention itself, you may have to walk blocks and blocks and blocks just to get in the door. And then what they don't really tell you is you'll be doing a lot of walking. A lot of the sessions and workshops that you attend, if you do attend a homeschooling convention, you'll probably be attending different workshops and speaking events and things like that. And they're all on different parts of the building. Sometimes you'll have to walk, you know, upstairs, downstairs, across the hall, and it takes a 10-minute walk to get from point A to point B. Along with all the walking of exploring the exhibit hall, which has rows and rows and rows of vendors, and you want to make sure you're not having to worry about sore feet and you're not having to worry about pulling anything up or pulling anything down. You just want to be comfortable. A lot of the vendors do have product on the bottom of their floor that you'll have to kind of like sort through and dig through. The big vendors, I don't know if you're familiar with Rainbow Resource, but the really big vendors have product anywhere from way up here to way down there. There's a lot to look through and you want to be sure that you can do so comfortably. The second thing that I would definitely recommend bringing are a bunch of snacks and water. They do have, or at least most exhibit halls do have places on site to get food. However, they're really expensive and most options honestly aren't really that healthy. You have your basic like chicken fingers and honestly almost like concessions, yeah, concession stand type food. But you're paying, you know, $10 to $12 on a product that isn't really very good and you don't even get full from it. So, and then you're paying $3 for a little bottle of water. Yeah, it's just expensive and kind of crazy. So if you're able to, or if you have a backpack or something, just stick a couple bottles of water and at least enough snacks to get you through the weekend, because as I said before, you will be doing a lot of walking and you'll get hungry much quicker than you think you will. But anyway, snacks and water. Third one is something that not probably everybody thinks about, and it is something that is in high demand. I do know a couple vendors specifically that carry this. I think Rainbow Resource might be one of them. And then every now and then you'll see another vendor also offer these items, but that is a cart with wheels. It doesn't necessarily have to be a rolling cart. I will share the picture above here of the most popular ones that I do see around the exhibit hall. But honestly, a lot of people just bring a carry-on, like a rolling carry-on, and they'll put all their product or purchased product in there because you don't really think about all the product that you'll be carrying. It's a homeschooling convention, and if you do shop the exhibit hall, you will not only be buying books, you'll be buying all the fun stuff. Sometimes the items are big, sometimes you'll be buying things you weren't anticipating buying, but because you know homeschooling mamas, they're like, this is a need. So you'll be honestly buying quite a few things at the exhibit hall. And so being able to roll it around versus carrying a lot of weight on your back and just all the bags that you'll be carrying, you don't want to have to worry about toting books around on your shoulders all day. So anyway, yeah, bring something with wheels. It helps a lot. The fourth thing I would recommend bringing is a brand new, really thick personal notebook. And that being said, there are literally dozens and dozens and dozens of workshops and sessions for you to take advantage of. And if you're like me, I do like to take notes because sometimes if you are attending, let's say 5 to 10 workshops in a day, you want to be able to take notes of them and remember either product recommendations that these speakers have told you about, or sometimes they might share some inspiration and some encouragement that you want to write down and remember. And if you're also like me, if you attend a lot of workshops, all the workshops can kind of blend together and you might forget one point from this speaker to the one point from this speaker. So being able to have a full notebook of all the different notes that you take is really helpful for when you get back home and you're trying to remember who said what. The fifth thing I would definitely recommend bringing are highlighters, as simple as it might sound. But I'll explain why here. As soon as you get into the convention center, you are going to go to check-in, and at the check-in, you typically will be handed a little baggie, and within that baggie is the most valuable thing that you will use all weekend, and that's the convention program. And within that program, you are going to have a master list of all the speakers, what each thing they're talking about, all the workshops and sessions. And I would recommend, honestly, just finding a really quiet corner, grab a coffee, and just sit there and highlight your top 5 to 10 must-have or must-see workshops. And that kind of will help you plan everything else around those things that weekend. A lot of common complaints I hear at the end of the show is a lot of people say, oh, I wish I would have attended this, but I wanted to see this as well. I didn't know that was going on at the same time. But yeah, just go through beforehand and highlight what you really don't want to miss. It could be if you have a special needs child and you want to get some encouragement from someone who has that experience, then highlight that workshop so you know for sure that you do not want to miss it, and just plan your entire weekend around those must-see sessions, if that makes sense. The sixth thing I'd recommend bringing is cash, or using some type of a cash system while at the show. As a homeschooling mama, it's really easily, personal experience here, to get caught up in just all the great resources that the convention has to offer. It's not just the curriculum, it is all the hands-on fun stuff. You have, I believe the company is Miller Pads and Paper. It's full of like art stuff and just like all the art activities you would ever need for your kids. And then you would have your nature supply store, and then you have just everything that you wouldn't even think about needing until you go in it like, I need all the things. So, but yeah, so be mindful of that as well. It is very, very easy if you're shopping at the exhibit hall. It is extremely easy to overspend. So I would definitely recommend using cash if you do go. I would recommend getting your curriculum first, and then whatever cash is left over after curriculum and all the necessities are bought, that is your fun money, and then you would have the freedom to spend that as you please. Because it is easy to like whip out that credit card at every fun booth day, overspend way too much. So for number 7, this kind of goes along with my fifth point as far as like highlighting your favorite sessions. I would also get those highlighted out again and mark your favorite vendors that you would also like to visit first. Believe it or not, even though each convention day typically lasts, 8 to 12 hours depending on what state's convention you're attending, those hours fly by so fast. Each session lasts close to an hour, and if you're attending multiple sessions a day, plus you're stopping to eat lunch or grabbing dinner, just taking a breather and stuff like that, you only have like a few hours in between to shop an entire exhibit hall with hundreds of vendors. And I know that can sound overwhelming, and most people don't realize going into the convention, they don't realize how, if you actually go to attend the workshops, which I highly recommend you doing, but if you're going to actually attend the workshops, that does leave not a lot of time to shop all the exhibitors. So I would recommend, while you're sitting down highlighting your favorite workshops that you must see, I would also highlight your favorite vendors that you want to see first. Like, what are your necessities? So if you're looking at Master Book's curriculum, or Bob Jones, or Becca, or anything else that you might want to see, highlight those so you know that those are your first, those are your necessities that you have to get done there. I know a lot of people don't realize, but if you do attend an actual convention, most exhibitors will have, especially curriculum, they will have specials. And those specials on the curriculum, you really can't beat those prices. So if you are looking at curriculum, I would definitely check those places out to get them out of the way first. So if you do run out of time, it won't be a last minute panic because you didn't get a chance to look at them. The last three things I wanted to share with you is going to be from a little bit of a different perspective. This is honestly going to come from a vendor's perspective versus an attendee's perspective. I've done both, and as I mentioned before, we used to travel full-time as vendors, and so I've heard a lot, I've seen a lot. Even though I've personally only been homeschooling a few years, I've done it since I was like, yay, hi. I've been attending homeschooling conventions. So these next few things are just from a vendor's perspective, and they are honestly things that attendees might not even think about, but I'm going to share them with you just for something different. But yeah, number 8 is kind of going to tie in, there you go, to number 7, which was my last point, as far as making sure you have plenty of time to shop the exhibit hall. We see a lot of people that are running through the door shopping, trying to, grab some last minute items near the end of the day, or when it's like 10 minutes to closing, they're just now starting to shop. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, that as a vendor, we too we're on our feet for 10 to 12 hour days. On Saturdays, we have a typical 8-hour sale day, and then it's another few hours to tear down and then driving home. So it's like a 15 to 20 hour day. But I would encourage you, and this goes, like I said, to my last point, as far as making sure you give yourself plenty of time to shop, that if it is like 5 to 10 minutes before closing, I would recommend either making sure you know exactly what you want in those 5 to 10 minutes, but don't go into the exhibit hall with only those few minutes left with the mentality of you're just going to go browse, only because, like I said, the vendors have had a very long day as well, and even on a Friday night, the vendors are exhausted too, because that's the longest sale day, and they still need to restock and clean the booth and get ready for the next day. So be mindful of that if you do run out of time, but like I said before, my last point, make sure you schedule plenty of shopping time, because time will run out before you know it. The 9th thing that I wanted to mention, and just honestly to remind you as well, if you are planning to attend a homeschool show, is to please buy on site if you are able to. I know a lot of people don't even realize this, but vendors pay a lot of money to walk through the door. Like, vendors don't get paid to go. They're the ones that pay for you to be able to go, if that makes sense. Without the vendors paying to be there, there would be no convention or anything set up. To see if I can explain it better, it costs us, because we do try to have a bigger setup, or we used to try to have a bigger setup back when we did it, but it used to cost us anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 just to walk through the front door. Plus we had our travel expenses, which included hundreds of dollars of food. You had $500 to $1,000 set aside for your hotel costs. And it costs a lot of money just to walk through the door, plus the cost of product to set up, if that makes sense. Plus you're taking out costs for damaged product while you're moving it and everything like that. It just adds up a lot for us to walk through that door. And another thing you might not realize too, that in order for a vendor to come back the following year, they really do need to make a profit to be there. It is their family's business, company business, or whatever. And most exhibitors that you will shop at, they are individually owned family businesses. And yeah, it takes a lot for them to be there. And when people come in and they buy on site, and you'll be reminded a lot throughout the show from speakers and stuff to buy on site, you're supporting not just that family business, but you are supporting the whole company as a whole. So you're supporting your state's organization, you're supporting your state's legal matters when it comes to homeschooling. It's a big thing that you're supporting when you buy on site. So I definitely recommend shopping there and then buying there as well. The last thing that I did want to mention really quick, and this honestly flows right back into my last point, number 9, and that is to turn off the Amazon app. I know we all love Amazon, I really do. I know everybody loves it. And I'm just, again, this is from a smaller business perspective, and that is at a convention, like I said before, we go through, 8 to 10 hours to set up the exhibit. It's a lot of work being there, like I said before, a lot of expense. And it's very, very disheartening and discouraging when we see a lot of people at every show, every single day, come in with their Amazon scanning thing. And they'll scan a product and, oh look, it's $2 cheaper on Amazon, so they'll add it to their Amazon cart. And they'll do that to every product, and they'll walk away without buying anything. And for one, Amazon is like anti-homeschooling, anti-everything we believe in, first of all, as a family. And I don't know, like we've always been really discouraged by that, by seeing a lot of people coming in and because it's $1 or $2 cheaper, they'll add it to the cart without realizing that is how small businesses are being ruined. So I would encourage you not to do that. You know, sometimes you might actually be surprised that a lot of the companies that do go, they're actually almost cheaper than Amazon. A lot of them are, there'll be a few products, like I said before, it's 50 cents to $1 more to buy it there and locally, but you are making that family, you are supporting the family, and as I said before, you are supporting, it's such a huge picture when you think about it. You're supporting the vendor, which you're supporting their family, their business, and then in turn you're supporting your state's organization, which in turn is supporting you guys, your legal fees from being able to still homeschool with freedom in your state. There you go. It's such a huge picture. It's a massive picture when you think about it, just because you're buying on location. So if you are able to do that, please do that. That would make every vendor there very happy. But anyway, I'll end there. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I would love to have you join our family. You could do so by subscribing down below. And I do want to end with this quote. And it is from, I think it's Ainsley Armand, is that the name? But anyway, it says, if anything can be said of our homeschools, may it be that they are safe places for our children, places where they can be encouraged in their gifts and comforted in their struggles, places where they can share their fears and express their sorrows, places where they can be heard and known and taken seriously. But yes, with that, I hope you guys have a great homeschooling week, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye guys.